self-justification, if you're looking at it in the context of relationships, if they're inside of a relationship, if one of the people is functioning from self-justification, everything that comes out of their mouth towards you is going to be, even if they don't know it. I'm not suggesting they're maliciously aware of it, but the communication that's going to come out of their mouth is going to be filled with laboring and toiling, labors and annoyances. And it's going to try to draw you into the self-justification. It's trying to draw you into a fight where you're going to now try to justify yourself. Right. Because if a person is functioning in self-justification, and they're functioning in that within a relationship with another person, their language is going to be very accusatory to the other person. Have you ever noticed how you respond when you're accused of something?
Yeah, it's very easy to start to act like
How many of you just are quiet like a lamb being led away to the slaughter? Or,
I'm learning to be quiet.
It's interesting that dynamic, and we talked about this with Job, Satan being the accuser. Yeah. One of the reasons he accuses is to lure you into trying to justify yourself.
Sure, absolutely.
Right. That's one of the main things he wants to do. If you are the Son, if God loves you, where's God? Do you see? He's leveling all these accusations to try to lure you into self-justification, where you're going to fight to prove, right? You're going to fight to stand up for yourself. You're going to fight to prove that you didn't do anything wrong. You're going to fight to prove that you're right and they're wrong. And now you're swimming in the chaos, and you're swimming in the self-justification. And now your peace has been robbed. And now you're busy fighting, right?
Yep.
But it's like, through the power of the gospel, you can find yourself going to rest there, even should a person be accusing you. Like a lamb led away unto the slaughter. Did Jesus open his mouth? He didn't say one thing when they were accusing him. Now, here's the most righteous dude that could ever be. I mean, he's the most righteous dude that could ever be. In every instance, he always did everything right. In every instance, he always thought of everyone over himself. And in the face of them leveling heinous accusations against him, he didn't say anything. Right. He wasn't Lord. And the evil communication was not able to corrupt his manners. Right? Because he was unioning with God. Did you make that word up? Unioning? Is that a real word?
Yeah, made it up.
All right. Well, listen. That's the word of the day. I want to get a bunch of shirts and screen print them.
Yeah. Kind of like tabernacling.
Yeah, it's like tabernacling, unioning. But Jesus, he wasn't corrupted by the evil communication because he was unioning with God.
Right, being in a relationship with him.
Yeah, actively. It was ever present with him. And so even in that place, he found himself not engaging in self-justification. He found himself believing the best about them. He found himself not keeping a record of their wrongs. He found no need to try to defend his own honor or to defend his own integrity. Imagine a life where you don't feel that you got to defend your reputation. Man. I tell you what, you won't get real offended. I mean, I keep wanting to say this on Facebook, but then I struggle to say it because some of the things I want to say require like lots of explanation. Otherwise, people won't understand what I mean.
Yeah.
And so I struggle to say this because it sounds legalistic. But one of the most glorious aspects of the God life is being able to live not keeping a record of the wrongs that are committed against you by other people. That is one of the most glorious things the gospel will do to you. You'll be able to live with fallible human beings, if we're speaking of their actions.
Sure.
You'll be able to live with fallible human beings, but you won't find yourself keeping a record of the wrongs they committed against you. Guess what happens when you live in that place? You get to enjoy all the human beings that are around you, free from their performance.
Yeah.
So you don't have like a mental chalkboard in your head where you got each person's name written on the chalkboard and you're keeping tally of the good or the evil that they've done. Because your mind's not keeping a record of the wrongs that they've committed against you. Why isn't your mind keeping a record of those wrongs? Because you're also busy believing the best about everyone in every situation, even in the situations where they fail or transgress you.
Right.
That's a glorious life, man. Because we're not going to get away from people. We were never created to be isolated from people. I tried. I mean, I left Louisiana, went to Colorado all by myself, and somehow I still found people. I found Becky, right? And I found close habitation with people still. How did that happen? I was so persuaded I'd go there and not talk to anyone.
Yeah.
But listen, we're never going to get away from people. We're not supposed to get away from people. We're never going to be in relationships with people in this world where they always get it right and they don't get it wrong. We're never going to be in a relationship with people where they don't transgress us. But the gospel allows us to enjoy people whether they transgress us or not. The gospel allows us to believe the best about people whether they transgress us or not. And that is one of the most beautiful aspects of the God life, where you can sit with people and just enjoy them. You're not thinking about trying to protect yourself. You're not busy thinking about them. You're not busy being offended by what they've said or done. You're living above all of that. And it's kind of like a post that Annette posted a while ago. She did a video, and I encourage everybody to go back and listen to it. But she did a video about how, and I'm probably going to butcher it, so I'm just paraphrasing. But she did a video, and a big part of the context was how we were never meant to trust other people with our lives.
Yeah.
That's right.
We were never meant to trust other people with our lives. And yet we live with other people as if we should be able to trust them with our lives. There's only one person whose hands your life should ever be in, and it's God.
That's right.
And the moment you begin looking to other people as if you're going to now trust them with your life, that's the moment you got them in a place where they are very soon to offend you.
That's right.
Because they don't possess the ability to care for your life. They can't even care for their own life. So imagine now, we're trying to trust our lives in the hands of a person who can't even care for their own lives.
Right.
And then we're very easily set up to be offended by them failing to be able to care for our lives. Right?
Right.
That's a profound thought
Yeah.
to think about.
Yes.
Because in so many of our relationships, we're busy living as if we're trying to trust them with our lives. Listen, this sounds shocking to people because I know I'm going to blow up the whole carnal understanding of marriage. I don't trust Becky with my life.
Yeah.
I don't trust Becky with my life. Becky can't pull me out of the grave. She can't clothe me in glory and immortality. She can't perfectly give me life in every situation. She can't uphold me. Do you know what I do trust Becky with? I trust that Becky loves me.
Yeah.
Now that's different.
Right.
There's a difference between trusting that someone loves you
Right.
and always has the best intention in their heart and trusting them with your life. There's a big difference there.
Yeah.
Right. Jesus is the only one that can take care of all of those needs for you.
Big difference. In so many of our relationships, we cross the two over,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely.
And then we keep people on the hamster wheel of performance, gauging them, faulting them, giving them, is it demerits? Giving them demerits every time they fail to uphold our lives, or every time they fail to act right in a certain situation, or every time they fail to be able to bring us peace, or to understand our hurting, or to do this or do that. We got them on a demerit list.
Yeah.
And then we're busy getting offended by it. Listen, I tell you what, if I'm not looking to my wife for life, there ain't a whole lot she can do that will offend me. Now, she could do some things that could cause me to feel grief or sorrow, or I could feel grieved at her suffering. But if I'm not looking to her as the source of my life, she's moved out of the place where I can be offended by what she does. Offense means to stumble at the truth about a thing. It doesn't just mean somebody does something wrong to you and you don't like it.
Yeah.
To be offended means you stumble at the truth about what it means and why they did it. Right? And if I don't have a person in a place where I'm trusting them with my life, so to speak, then I can't be offended when they fail to give me life.
That's right.
But if you're tempted to give them a demerit, you might also be tempted in requiring certain conduct to get the demerit off of their record.
There's no doubt that there's two sides. That's the two sides of the same coin. Absolutely. If you're given demerits,
And now you're laboring not only in giving them demerits, but you're laboring in deciding what's the appropriate conduct on their part that you want to control or to remove the demerit.
that's right.
Yes.
Also, you can have peace. We only care what other people do in so much as if what they're doing is, we think, taking peace from us.
Yeah.
Right? Like we get our routines, right? And if somebody does something, like I walk the two dogs in the morning. Like every morning I take the 2 dogs for a walk. Well, one of the dogs is like very calm and peaceful and doesn't cause any problems. And the other dog is a maniac. And she monkeys out. And when I say monkey out, I mean she sounds like a chimpanzee with a microphone.
Yeah, so does Buddy.
She monkeys out every time we see another dog. She monkeys, I mean, I'm not just talking about like a normal kind of a thing. Like, it's painful. It's embarrassing. And so there's this guy who walks his dog. And he can only, he rides in a rider when he walks the dog. And so he only goes to a certain pace. I'm all the time trying to avoid this guy. Because my dog's going to monkey out. Now, no matter what I do to avoid this guy, somehow he comes back around.
Yep.
He turns away to come back around me. Now listen, if I'm being honest, the first few times he did that, guess who I was aggravated with? That guy.
That's right.
Why was I aggravated with him? Because now what he was doing was going to cause me to be taken from rest because my dog was going to monkey out.
Yep, right.
Right?
Yes.
So here I was judging this poor guy's behavior because of this thing. But what happened was all of a sudden I realized is, it's not this guy. It's not what he's doing. It's not even that my dog's monkeying out. It's that there's something inside of me that is being bothered.
It's messing up your rest.
It's messing up my routine, my rest, and like the alert signals going off, ding, ding, and I got to do something about it. And now I have this guy like in direct path of being able to give me rest or take it. If he could just get his thing right, I could have rest. And so when he doesn't get it right, I get angry.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm keeping a record of his wrongs. And then all of a sudden I realize, it's me. It's not him. This guy doesn't possess the ability to take rest for me or give me rest. Neither does my dog.
Right.
And so immediately I felt rest. Because I felt like God talking with me and unwinding. What is it about your dog monkeying out that upsets you, Greg?
So, like she said, I'm sorry I forgot your name, but like she said, it was
Lisa.
the unioning with